Well, for more on this, we can speak now to Hussam Ayloush in Los Angeles. He's the Executive Director of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and joins us now. How dangerous is it for the President of the United States to attack Ilhan Omar over the 9/11 attacks, which has such a unique place in the American consciousness?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It is extremely, extremely dangerous, and let's put it this way, it's very deliberate. Our irresponsible and failed president knows exactly what he's doing. He's basically putting her life at risk. He's putting the lives of Muslims, American Muslims, whom he's supposed to be their president too. Last that I checked, he's not just the president of white supremacists and white nationalists, yet he uses American Muslims, immigrants, other minorities as pawn in building up and riling up his base. And it should be ashamed. This is really low, even for someone like President Donald Trump.
Are you satisfied with the way the Democratic leadership has responded? The Democratic leader and Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, certainly criticized Donald Trump, but didn't actually mention Ilhan Omar by name.
No, unfortunately, there has been a mixed response. Obviously, we've heard great responses from Senator Sanders, Warren, from Congressman Takano, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, and several others. But we expect more from the Speaker of the House. She knows very well that this has nothing to do with the speech that was given by Ilhan Omar, which, if anyone takes them a few minutes to listen to or watch it, would know that actually she was not speaking about the terrorist attacks of 9/11. She was talking about how Muslims had to live as a suspect community in the shadow of the horrific attack, being treated or scapegoated for something they had nothing to do with, something that was done by complete criminals who are not from our country, who had nothing to do with the Muslim American community. Ironically, this is exactly what President Trump is doing and redoing again. And this has nothing to do with the speech, as we all know. This is about silencing one of his most vocal critics in Congress, who happens to be a Muslim woman, an African woman, a Somali woman, a refugee herself. Of course, because he's not used to it. He's not used to being challenged. He's not used to be challenged by women, by women of color in specific.
Can I ask
and he
you,
thinks he can bully her, and in the process
can I ask
bully
you
all
this, Mr. Ayloush, because Ilhan Omar has reportedly received death threats. Do you fear for her safety?
Absolutely. I fear for her safety because, you know, that speech was given during our annual banquet in the Valley area, near Los Angeles area, for CAIR 3 weeks ago. We had to triple, actually quadruple, what we had intended to do for security, calling LAPD, the hotel security, hiring a private security firm, spending almost as much on the event as for her security. And it's worth every penny, of course, because we did receive a bomb threat, death threat. She's receiving death threats on a daily basis. This is not a joke for the president. This is not one of his boring, ugly jokes. This is serious. This has to do with her safety, the safety of every Muslim, the safety of my own children, my own family. Enough is enough. Our president has to realize the danger of what he's doing. The rhetoric he's engaging in is exactly what led to genocides, holocausts around the countries or around the world and throughout history. This is no joke matter. This is not a joking matter. We can debate, we can disagree, and it's okay to disagree, but we can do it with civility, without dehumanizing each other or questioning each other's patriotism, especially using something as emotionally charged as the horrific attacks of 9/11 that targeted our country.
Well, thank you for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Executive Director of CAIR, Hussam Ayloush.
Thank you for having me.
The possibility of making